Hello. How's it going? I wanted to do a video today. Well, I've been wanting to do this video for a while about one of my favorite subgenres of metal. What we're listening to in the background is Gravedigger with Heavy Metal Breakdown. This is actually side 2, and hopefully it doesn't end before the record or before the video is done. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to do a video on Symphonic Black Metal, and I pulled my favorite records by all the bands that I own. Almost all of them. I don't have all of them, but and I'll talk about a few that I don't own. But I wanted to pull my favorite record by every band that I consider a kind of a true symphonic black metal band. Okay, so I'm going to start with some of my favorites, and one of my favorites for sure is For All Tid by Dimmu Borgir. This is a Nuclear Blast reissue. I think it has an etching on one of the sides. This record is amazing. I think captures kind of that castle-y, old school vibe kind of perfectly. I like to sit and listen to this record when I'm sitting by the river, because it's nice to watch flowing water by. It's got like really nice noises on it, and it's interesting riff-wise. I haven't listened to it in probably a few months. But man, it's so good. It's all in Norwegian too, so that's another thing about this record. As far as like the rest of Dimmu Borgir's stuff, I don't have the original version of Stormblast, which is probably the best continuation of that. I have the re-recorded version of Stormblast, and I have everything else that Dimmu has done on vinyl as well, but I don't have Abracadabra. I didn't like that one. I really like the new one though. The what's it was called? Anyway, but I really like the new one. But anyway, let's move on to another band here. Cradle of Filth. This is the re-recording of Cruelty and the Beast, or not the re-recording, just the remaster. This is a formative band for me. Same with Dimmu, but I mean, this is probably the first black metal band I ever heard. And I don't think it was this album. I think it probably was Midian, like Her Ghost in the Fog. But this one, along with Dusk and Her Embrace, their debut, this is the second one, were like my favorite for a long time. And like, this is a band that you have to be in the mood for, particularly because of Danny's vocals. But, you know, great band, you know, like, amazing actually, like the ebb and flow of some of these songs, like 13 Autumns and a Widow, the heaviness of Cruelty Brought the Orchids, but then also the epicness of it. Beneath the Howling Stars, Desire and Violent Overture, The Twisted Nails of Faith, and then Bathory Aria, which is good, but some people talk about that song like it's the best thing on the album. I really don't think it is. But overall, like, an amazing record and a formative record for me. Awesome. And I love the artwork. I'm kind of disappointed they slightly changed the cover, but that's the same. I'll show you the insides. That's the same. Like, that looks like the original stuff. And yeah, that came on the original CD as well. I mean, and there's write-ups by, I think one's by Danny and one's by Deodal Patterson. I think he wrote the Black Metal book. Okay, anyway, which I do have. Okay, next up, an obvious band, another one, Emperor. An obvious symphonic black metal. I don't know, what do you call it? Like you gotta have this one if you're listening to symphonic black metal. I didn't get the reissue of this one. just yet, the dynamic sound. But I did get the one for Welkin, which now I have 2 copies of that, which is whatever. It's kind of funny, but it's cool. Yeah, this is blue vinyl, which is cool. I like that vinyl. This record, I didn't always love it as much as like the Dimmu stuff and the Cradle stuff. Emperor is a band that you put on if you're in the mood for it, and it's gonna blow your socks off. This has tons of classics on it though. Yeah, Cosmic Keys to My Creation and Times, Towards the Pantheon, I'm the Black Wizard, Into a Satana. Like, a lot of this record is re-recorded, which, you know, people know, but there was earlier versions of those songs on their EP, the 4-song EP, which is excellent. I think that's their truest kind of like symphonic black metal record. That's the one where it's like it's really grandiose. It's like it's somewhat not as violent as the next one, Anthems to Viking at Dusk. Yeah, solid, good record though. Like Anthems is amazing, and but I think if I had to choose a favorite, I think what encapsulates Emperor the best as a picture of that time and kind of the best symphonic black metal coming out ever. In the Night Side Eclipse is where it's at. Okay, next up. This is a record that I didn't really acquire till much later, and I think that it's awesome. Yeah, this is Born of the Flickering by Old Man's Child. Old Man's Child, I'd always like in high school and stuff, like years ago, I was always listening to like their later stuff, In Defiance of Existence. That was a big record for me, but it's totally different, and it's kind of almost more death metal-y in a way, but this is more true symphonic black metal. And Cosmic Key Creations has done some amazing reissues for this stuff. Like, this is the original cover. They had another cover with a bat flying on it. I'm glad to get this one because it's better. This is nice looking vinyl too, actually. I think this is, yeah, it's like purple gray, and all the labels are different. Like, you can see the Old Man's Child, then they got the Skull guy, and then on the next one, and this has a really nice etching too, so I'll show you that. But yeah, this record's fucking awesome. It's like kind of like it's weirdly patched together. I find like the recording of it, but like there's a lot of like doubled vocals and vocal effects going on, and then just like sound effects, and I love that kind of stuff in black metal, especially symphonic black metal. Like, it doesn't always have to be cheesy, but when it is, and this is kind of cheesy, it's awesome. But yeah, Old Man's Child, Born of the Flickering. The Pagan Prosperity is also very good. I have that one as well from the same label. And I also have In Defiance of Existence, which is just kind of like a nostalgic album for me, but I think Old Man's Child really fell off for me, you know, anyway, on their later works. Okay. Okay, yeah, here's another record that like I've just acquired in the past year, so I'm not that familiar with it, but this is Lymphonic Art, Moon in the Scorpio, and this is a revered record, like within symphonic black metal, but it's not, I don't know, I kind of find it somewhat impenetrable, and I find a lot of Lymphonic Art that way. I would say right now, I even like in the one that came out after this, In Absence Dementia or something. I have that one as well, and I think I like that one a little more, actually. I find this one very impenetrable. Maybe I just need to spend more time with it, spend it at the right time and stuff, and it's gonna click. But yeah, Lymphonic Art is not my favorite symphonic black metal band, although I do find them good, and when I'm in the mood for this kind of stuff, I find myself clawing around for it, so this kind of stuff is good to have around. Okay. Now, one of my favorite untalked about, pretty much, I never hear people talking about it. Recently, Matt, he was talking about it, but Covenant, and specifically Covenant's first record, In Times Before the Light. This is one of the best symphonic black. This is up there with For All Tid. I mean, the trajectory this band took throughout their career is kind of ridiculous. Like, they never made a record that sounded like this again, or even really any of their other records again. Their records don't really sound alike, is what I'm trying to say. Look kind of silly right there. I think the one guy's smoking a cigarette. But yeah, very, I don't want to even say depressive, but very, like, epic, kind of, they're not scared of using the synths, and they used them on this record, like, in a very kind of, like, somber, castle-y kind of way, that I just really, really like. Yeah, this record is never talked about, and I think it should be, because it's not, it's up there as one of the best symphonic black metal records ever, if you like that castle-y vibe. And I mean, it's not like poorly put together either. Like, there's awesome, like, just listen to the song names too, like Dragon Storms, Night of the Black Winds, The Chasm, Through the Eyes of the Raven. And you also get their demo on this, right? So, like, on side D, there's their demo, and there's a few songs that are re-recorded, and their demo's good too. So, anyway, this is an unheralded classic. I really, really like this. Okay, moving on. A band I don't own anything from anymore is Graveworm from Italy, and I think that they had some really strong symphonic black metal records, especially the early ones. I can't remember all the names of them, but up until they did one on Nuclear Blast. Oh, jeez, what's the name of it? And that record was really good. But badly paced. I think that was like the reason that record didn't do very well. But anyway, I'm not going to talk too much about Graveworm because I don't have it. I can't remember the record name. But they were an awesome band in the beginning. A band that not one of my favorite symphonic black metal bands, but they should be mentioned, is Obtained Enslavement, another Norwegian band. I actually like the one that came after this one a little more, so I should have pulled that one. But this one's more a classic album, and the album cover's way better. But yeah, it's very busy symphonic black metal. I think that's something that kind of turns me off. And as far as Covenant goes, the band I was just talking about, they also did an album. Their next album, Nexus Polaris, was a little busy for me, and then they just kind of went totally industrial metal, like kind of weird. Yeah, so Obtained Enslavement, they're a little busy, and they're a little bit classical. Well, that's maybe the wrong way to put it, but I don't know. It's like it's not my favorite, but it is good. Anyway, and lastly, I'm gonna show Odium, the Sad Realm of the Stars. Very cool symphonic black metal. Not the best production. Not to say that it's bad, but it's like a little one-dimensional, I find. But a very cool record nonetheless. Bare bones stuff. Might be colored? No. Blood Music put this out. Yeah, it's a good record. Solid stuff. Okay, so that's it. Thanks, guys.